morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone's doing well. It's a nice, cool Monday morning. Ken Genalo, Field Office Director for the ICE Enforcement Removal Operations in New York City, covering the 5 boroughs in New York, all of Long Island, and the 7 lower counties of the Hudson Valley region. Obviously, we're here to protect the community, and we have a lot of overarching priorities, the same as all of our law enforcement partners, including NYPD and the city's, the mayor's office. We're here, we want to assist, we want to help. The problem is due to city policies and state law, the cooperation is no longer afforded between NYPD, the law enforcement partners, and ICE. So unfortunately, a lot of the way that we have to do our intelligence in ICE is the same way that you find out about cases. It's through the media. So we're no longer contacted, we're no longer called, and we have to check our databases. But obviously there's hundreds of people a week that are being arrested throughout the city. And if we can't determine which one is being, the most violent, we have to find out, unfortunately, through the media, through the newspapers, through the actual television outlets. That alerts us to start digging even deeper. The problem is, back when they passed the sanctuary laws, we used to have a unit that sat in Rikers Island, worked hand in hand with NYPD. The prior administration at the time kicked the unit out of Rikers Island. We no longer have a presence there. So basically, anyone at that time that was foreign-born was vetted by my staff, the immigration officers, to determine whether or not they were amenable to removal proceedings. If they were, we took custody of them and we placed them in removal proceedings. Remember, everyone that comes into ICE custody is afforded the ability to legal counsel and the right to see a judge. All right, so without having our detainees honored and the subjects returned directly back into the community, there's a lot of recidivism. And obviously, once they're back in the community, we have to then go look for them. So number one, the public safety factor for the community increases, but on top of it, also for my staff and my officers. Instead of being able to take custody of these individuals in the confines of a jail or in the confines of a precinct, we now have to go out into the community and the streets, where unfortunately the criminals have the upper hand, whether it be at a residence, whether it be at a place of employment, or just anywhere out in the streets as itself. The other issue, besides the detainers, is the whole problem with judicial warrants. So every time we lodge a detainer, we also lodge an administrative warrant. And the city came back, and a lot of other cities across the country, many years ago with the prior administration, started using the semantics of you have to have a judicial warrant for us to turn them over to you. What happens is they're basically putting state law over federal law, because the federal law, the INA, and the Code of Federal Regulations states the administrative warrants are signed by managers or above within ICE, as opposed to a judicial warrant that is signed by a U.S. magistrate. We sign hundreds of them on a day. So the federal law states that we have the authority to sign these warrants, which we include with our detainers. The cities across the United States say, no, we want a judicial warrant. Well, you don't get a judicial warrant for these cases. So when they always say, well, all you have to do is get a judicial warrant, that's not what the INA, the Immigration Nationalization Act, says. And it's not what the 8 CFR says for the Code of Federal Regulations. We have the authority to issue the warrants. So, I'm willing to work with the mayor's office and with the governor's office to try and get back to the table to speak about having this situation addressed once again. At least I give credit to the current administration here in New York City. I've had several meetings, my staff has had several meetings. At least we're dialoguing again. The prior administration, we were kicked out and we never had a seat at the table. So baby steps to get back in, but we want to make sure these people, you see the crimes that they're committing, they're turned over back to ICE. If they don't contact us, if you don't honor the detainers, there's no way that we can get them immediately. At that point, we have to go searching for them. And obviously, once they're released, they could be in the wind, they could be moving to another state, or they could be going anywhere. So I'm hoping it's possible to get both the city of New York and the governor in the state of New York maybe back to the table with ICE in New York City and my counterpart up in Buffalo. We handle the whole state of New York, so that's what we're looking to do right now.